if we organize ourselves and know that the resources we have are within us rather than look outside, we can fix these things. And Northern Uganda has got so much potential that's still not yet been tapped. Now, the women in Northern Uganda, it's a full engine, like a plane that has two engines. That engine has hardly been touched.
Businessman Patrick Bitature says the parish development model is one of the core government programs that the women can embrace in order to have a favorable business competition with other countries in the East African bloc.
And Uganda seems to be pulling up and then seems to be stuck. Not only Uganda, but Africa. But now we have reached the point, what I would call a point of inflection. And I'm not talking about our minister saying Uganda is going that direction. And the timing is right because the government is now supporting them. This program of PDM is fantastic for the people. And that bottom-up approach is much better than from top coming down. And don't just depend on the government money. Don't depend on PDM. Let's organize ourselves. And if we don't do it, you're going backwards. Because Tanzania might do it. Kenya is doing it. We're all competing to move forward as a people. Clearing the war took longer in Northern Uganda because of the incidents you had with LRA and Konya and what have you. But now that we have complete peace.
He identified rampant environmental destruction as one of the key barriers to agribusiness in the region that he said is based on poor attitude towards business growth.
If you don't change your attitude, you cannot change your thinking. If you don't change your thinking, you cannot change your behavior. Let today be a day where I put a spear in the ground. You're cutting all the trees for charcoal. It's easy. Maybe it's not you, but your relative, your neighbor, your son, your friend. And that's something we've got to address with the government at the highest level.
He called upon the government through Uganda Development Bank and Post Bank Uganda to put in place policies that can favor women in borrowing loans for their businesses.
Be humane. We all want to make profit. We need to lend to women at a lower rate than you're lending to seasoned men. If that can be government policy somewhere, then women will have access. But you cannot borrow unless you have the discipline of saving.
State Minister for Finance in charge of investment and privatization, Evelyn Anite, explains why such a regional business summit was organized for women in the north.
First of all, this is the first ever Women in Northern Uganda business forum that government were doing. It's an exciting platform to come and listen to the opportunities in government, financial, but we're also giving them literacy, how they best they can do their businesses. I believe this is going to solve a number of problems.
According to women who participated, the summit has unlocked great business knowledge that they lacked.
What the women have been lacking is such socialization, and this was a very big opportunity. Now we know each other.
Many times we start businesses without planning. We don't keep records and all that, but this summit today has taught us a lot about how to handle our businesses. But what we're urging the government is the interest rates. They're biting us.
Gulu, by its very nature, we have a lot of food crops. We have millet, we have simsim, we have rice. All those things need value addition. But our biggest challenge is capital, where to get the capital from. Taxation is way too high.
Borrowing in groups has always had a burden on few committed group members, as some members defaulted payment of their group loans. To that effect, Minister Anite agrees on the demand by women for an easy access to individual loans besides PDM funds, as very few of them have collaterals like land that men have.
As government, yes, we're putting the money to be in groups, but then there's some members of the group who default the money, and for them they are serious and they would want to be able to have their businesses alone. So now, that's for me the take home is that we should be able to design packages which can be for individuals.
The manager, business advisory at Uganda Development Bank, Barbara Kasekende, disclosed that UDB has availed a lot of opportunities to women, but ignorance in accessing the chance through other government agencies like URSB and URA remain as a challenge.
We had a problem with people not approaching these entities. But they are too expensive, one manya what. And you heard my story of the lady who spent 2 million shillings just to get a name registered. But she got a broker. Do not have a broker do your taxes for you. What nonsense is that? You can do it online. But these are the partners that we work with to make your work simpler.
Joseph Odamam, UBC News, in Arua.